Okay, typical flow in the office, of course, begins at the front door, comes through the waiting room, and into our ready area, which is a transition site from waiting in the waiting room to, I guess you might refer to these as hot seats. These particular chairs are when we're going to get them from the waiting room to there to, and they're waiting to be scanned. So they're scanned here. The computer display is aimed towards the rest of the room so that when I'm working with other patients in a busier time, my office manager can be scanning patients and helping move people around to keep the flow going. Mm-hmm. So here we've got the high-low tables. These are Lloyd tables in this particular office. And we run these in an open adjusting situation. So there are people coming and going. It's a very open and friendly conversational office versus some offices that have individual rooms for each adjustment. So as far as flow goes, this particular setup works very well. So once they get scanned, again, they're on the table, the adjustments are made, and then from here, we bring them back in and put them into a resting situation here. The rest booths, we've got several recliners and several tables, and the patients are allowed to rest for about 15 minutes, at which point we get them up again and bring them back over to the scanner, and we'll do the post checks as needed here. I typically run the scan as the post check. The other secondary tests such as leg checks and so forth, if I know that I've got the information that I've cleared them here and that the patient is clearing out here after the adjustment, those tests are really of a secondary nature.
Right. On a busy day, about how many patients will you have flow through the office in this manner?
Well, let's see. Tuesdays and Thursdays tend to be the busy days in my office. We're open from 1 to 8 with an hour break, and we'll run 40 to 50 people through here.
Okay. And doing a pre and post scan hasn't really slowed you down?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
And looking at also with the patient first coming from the waiting room to your intermediate room, mm-hmm. and then to be scanned, that mm-hmm. also kind of makes the 15-minute acclimation time very not almost a non-issue.
Right, right. There are patients that when they drive for great distances, which I've got several that do drive from quite a distance away, I will pre-rest them back in the resting area, and then we'll do the scan and we'll do the adjusting, and then we'll post-rest and then post-check. And even though we've got people moving from different places to different places, the flow is very, very smooth. There's there aren't people bumping into one another. People, the patients very soon realize that if they realize where they need to go from one point to the other, they get the flow very, very quickly, and so they're not wondering where to go all the time. We don't have to lead them by the elbow to get them to move.
And the software also bugs you if someone's too long in one place.
Yes.
We keep track of the resting rooms and how long a patient's been in them.
Absolutely. We use the, especially because we've got a secondary resting area in a different part of the building further back, and we can keep track of those booths on the screen. Right. So I can be not only looking at new information, pre-checks or post-checks visually on the screen, but as soon as we move the patient out of the scanning chair, well then all the rest booths are displayed, so we can manage who's about ready, who needs to get up, and so forth.
Neat. Well, thank you.
You're welcome.